Hey, what's up guys, it's the Catalyst47 back with another video. Here, like I told you in my previous video, I was going to I had plans to actually bring y'all my zombie deck profile. Which, I mean, this deck is still kind of in testing. Just because I don't really see too many people play zombies nowadays on like more recent videos on YouTube. So it's kind of hard to say like which is an actual really good competitive build. But I've seen older videos, like more of the newer ones, and I've kind of just, made my own version of the deck. I mean, there's a lot of similarities with what other people have, but yeah, I just thought I'd give y'all my take on zombies. I know they're not like top tier or anything. I don't even know if I would consider them a road deck. They might just be like a casual, very slightly competitive deck. Because I don't think the deck is completely bad. Because if you can get certain combos through, or certain cards in play, it's pretty hard to deal with. But yeah, I wanted to. Well, actually, no. Let's just get right into the deck profile. And I know my last few videos have been kind of long, so I don't want to make these like insanely long as well. So, getting into the main deck, we got triple Unizombie. He's the best starter in the whole deck. I mean, it's basically like a double Foolish Burial, being able to send one card from the deck and one card from your hand to the graveyard. Lets you set up your graveyard. You want to see him as much as you can in your opening hand. And he also can adjust the levels of monsters, so it kind of helps with like synchro plays and all that stuff. So yeah, definitely the best card, and he's a tuner as well, so he can be a target for Needle Fiber, and he can be used to make Needle Fiber. So really good card, honestly. 3 is definitely a must. Then we got triple Shiranui Solitaire. I always want to say Shiranui Zombie, but Shiranui Solitaire. Basically another copy of Unizombie. Like, you're mostly going to use him to tribute himself to special summon Unizombie from the deck. So it really is just basically another copy of Unizombie. So 3, just because, like I said, you really want to try and see Unizombie in your opening hand, or I guess the first turn on the field. So you just really want to try and maximize that chance. Then we got triple of the best extender in this deck, triple Mizuki. I'm still not sure if 3 is the right call or not, because I'm not going to say it's bad to have him in your hand, because he can be used for like discard fodder or other cards that require discarding, so he's not bad. But maybe sometimes you do want to see other combo pieces. You might not want to see multiples. Like, having 1 in your hand is completely fine, but once you have like 2 or 3, like, I think I'd rather see more combo pieces. I'm using 3 right now. I haven't had I've never drawn all 3. I have drawn 2, but it's never like the end of the world. But I guess my light went off. But I think that you can still see the video pretty clearly. Yeah, triple Mizuki. I think I'm testing it out at 3 for now. Might cut down to 2. Not sure. I feel like at least need 2 though. It's just such a good card. Then you got the 1 Gozuki. This card, it can be used both as a starter and extender, but it's like a weaker version of Unizombie in terms of being a starter. He is another Foolish Burial, being able to send 1 card from your deck to the graveyard, but he doesn't let you do the discarding one. But when he's sent to the graveyard, you can banish another zombie that's not him, and then special summon a zombie from your hand. Any zombie. So maybe if you have like a Doom King in your hand, it's like you can't summon it, but with him, if he's sent to the graveyard, you can. But like I said, he's like a weaker version of Unizombie, so I just feel like having him at 1 is honestly good enough. Maybe 2, but I would never run 3, to be honest with you. Then we got the best boss monster in the whole part. One of the best boss monsters ever made in a structure deck. So we got double Doom King Ballardrock. He is a walking 2 interruptions. Like, he's a 2800 beat stick. He's so easy to summon in the deck, to be honest, onto the field. And he can negate a zombie effect, or actually, when a zombie activates an effect, he can either negate it or he can banish a card in the field or graveyard. So And with Zombie World in the field, that makes all monsters in the grave and field zombies. So he's so good with Zombie World in the field. I run him at 2 because his effects are only once per turn. Like oh yeah, he has the recurrent effect to be able to special summon himself every standby phase when there's a field spell. But like I said, it's once per turn, so having multiples is not really like the best. So that's why I just run him at 2, because 3 is gonna get too cloggy, and basically you only need 1. But the reason you run 2 is because most people are gonna try and banish him. So just to have one other one. So I think 2 is the perfect number. Then we got 2 Global Bloom. Basically, it's such a good card. He's the main target for Needle Fiber, and when he's sent to the graveyard, you can banish him. And if his Zombie World's on the field, then you can special summon a level 5 or higher zombie from your deck to the field. If Zombie World's not on the field, then you still get to add it to your hand. So it's not bad. Normally you go for Doom King or Jack of Bowling with this card. Then we got 2 Neko World Banshee. Basically just other copies of Zombie World. When she's in the graveyard, you can quick effect banish her and then activate Zombie World directly from your deck onto the field. Or if she's on the field, then Zombie World can't be, I believe, targeted by card effects. So pretty good stuff, honestly. I think you just need 2. I mean, you already have, like, I'm going to spoil it a little bit, but you already have 3 Zombie World in the deck. And then you have this card, which is basically another copy that's 5. And then with Unizombie, you can just send this card from your deck to the graveyard to activate Zombie World. So you just have so many ways to activate Zombie World. You don't really want this card to get too cloggy. Like, having 1 in your hand's fine, but I would never want multiples of these cards in my hand. So I think 2 is just a good number. Then we got 2 Jack of Bowling. Basically, I mean, he's basically like a control card, being able to, well, the first good thing about him is that you can discard a zombie to special summon him directly from your hand. So he lets you get zombies in the graveyard, and it's basically almost a free body on the field. And when he's on the field, on your opponent's turn, you can banish him to special summon a zombie from, I believe, your opponent's graveyard? Oh no, in either graveyard. But you banish it when it leaves the field. So if your opponent activates like a Monster Reborn, you can activate his effect and banish him to take the monster that they're going to Monster Reborn. So pretty good card, honestly. Helps with control. I do wish his attack was a little higher. He's only 1500 attack, so he's not really like good for attacking or anything like that. But one thing to notice, he's a level 7, so that'll come into play once we get into the extra deck. I think 2 is fine. You don't really want to get, like, having 3 just seems kind of, It's not really, like I said, you want to see him, but you don't want, like, multiple copies in your hand, to be honest. Then we got the 1 Vampire Fraulein. She's a pretty good hand trap kind of card. When zombie battles, you can special summon her from your hand, and you can pay life points up to 3,000 for your zombie to gain that much attack. So honestly, she's honestly really good. I don't think you need more than 1. Like I said, I'm still testing it. Maybe 2 could be okay, because like I said, one of the problems with zombies is that if they negate your stuff and you have to just leave your monsters on the field, it does kind of suck because most of them are pretty weak. Besides Ballard Rock. So this card is really good for that. Like, in case your stuff gets negated and you can't set up your actual extra deck monsters, if you have her in your hand, your weak zombies can still run over big monsters. So, but yeah, for now 1 is fine. I could later on test it at 2. 3 just seems a little bit too much though. Then for the hand, the hand trap. I'm putting the hand traps right now first because they're zombies. So basically the triple Ash Blossom, it's a zombie, so it's pretty good in the deck because you can trigger off Doom King's effect to banish a card if you Ash Blossom something. So pretty good card. It's the most generic hand trap, to be honest, and the most versatile in my opinion. So I think it's definitely a must to have in the deck. That's all. That's all for the hand traps. I really wish I could run more, but I just feel like you need a you. This deck needs more, like cards in the graveyard more than anything. So I just feel like having to hold cards in your hand, like the hand traps, so your opponent does something. The deck doesn't really function too well with like too many hand traps, in my opinion. Then we got the danger package, just the one Tsuchinoko and the one Jackalope. I'm still not sure how I feel about the danger cards, to be honest. I know they're basically a free body, but I don't know. It's like if you don't have Zombie Roll on the field, honestly, they're honestly pretty useless. Like, because without Zombie Roll, a lot of the monsters in your extra deck require zombies to link them into, or to be able to summon them. So if you don't have Zombie Roll for some reason, like these are honestly almost kind of dead. So I don't know how I feel about them. In some occasions they are decent, because if you do have Zombie Roll, then yes, they're a free body on the board, and they become zombies, so you can use them pretty well. And sometimes they can even let you draw a card, which is nice. But I'm not really too keen on like the whole relying on luck, like your opponent has to snipe it or not, you know? But we're just testing out those two for now. I might cut them out in the future, but I would rather cut them out in the future. I just don't know what I would put in. Then we got the one tech card. This is one of the cards I really wanted to play when I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Arena a few months ago. And in this deck, I feel like it's not optimal, of course, but you can make it work. The one Dark Arm Dragon. The deck has like 10 or 11 darks that it can use. And honestly, 4 of them, like you only need 3 for Dark Arm, but like honestly 4 of those 11, you're almost always going to banish. The 2 Glow Bloom and the 2 Necrowold Banshee. So that already drops down your dark count from like 11 to like 7. Now 7 is a lot easier to manipulate because you have triple Mizuki. That's another reason why I did keep the 3 Mizukis in, because they help you get darks out of your graveyard so you can actually summon Dark Arm. I don't know if you need multiples of this card, because in this deck it is a little difficult. Like if you don't ever want to draw. I would never run 3 of this card in this deck. It's just you never want to draw double Dark Arm, in my opinion. Like you're not gonna have. It's a little hard to find a way to get 3 darks on that first turn, especially if like most people run hand traps nowadays. So if your Unizombie gets negated, oh my god, it hurts so bad. So I feel like just running 1 or 2 would be the best idea. For now, I'm running 1, see how it works. But I love Dark Arm. I mean, of course, it's 3 darks. It's a free body on the board, and he's a level 7, and he can pop like multiple cards. Like his effect's not once per turn, so. Really good card, honestly. Now we're going to get into the spells. We got Triple Zombie World. I mean, this card is just so good. I think it's a must at 3. Turning everything into zombie. Honestly, sometimes that alone is a floodgate. Like being able to stop a lot of decks that require their extra deck monsters might require a certain type. And if everything is zombie, then sometimes they won't be able to even summon their extra deck monsters. So I think Zombie World's a really good card. And you want to see it as much as possible, because when Zombie World's not on the field, Doom King, I'm not saying he's useless, but he's definitely a lot weaker when Zombie World's not on the field. Just because then your opponent's monsters are not zombies, so Doom King can't like negate them or banish them. And then we got Triple Called by the Grave. Like I said, this deck you don't want to get like you don't want your Unizombie to get hand trapped or your Solitaire. Like it really hurts the deck a lot. So I think having Triple Called by is a must. Like just so you can not get hit with hand traps. And it's honestly a good card as well to like banish. Sometimes if you have your combo already set up, you can just set this card and your opponent tries to reborn something, you can just call by. So banish their target. So it can be used defensively and offensively. So pretty good card. Then we got Triple Super Poly. this, like I said again, this deck, it doesn't have too much like complete destruction of board. So going second, I feel like the deck's a lot weaker. Because if your opponent has like negates or interruptions, like I told y'all, you don't want Unizombie to get negated or interrupted. So sometimes you need a way to break boards, and honestly, Super Poly is pretty good because, especially if you're able to activate Zombie World first, then you can just take your opponent's monsters because they're zombies and summon one of the extra deck cards that I have that I'll show y'all later. And having it at 3, I've never thought Super Poly would ever be at 3. When I played back like in 2011, this card was always at 1. So, but having it at 3, I mean, some decks make some ridiculous boards, so I kind of understand why they would bring it back to 3. Like, you need ways to break some boards sometimes. But Super Poly is just a really good card. Being able to, the fact that your opponent can't chain anything to it, that's pretty broken. And then we go into the 1-ofs. We got the 1 Mind Control. Like I said, you do want to find ways to break your opponent's board. So taking their monster could be like, if there's a monster that's really like hard to deal with, you can just take their monster for the turn, link it away or something, or take their monster and then just do your plays if it only applies to the opponent. So now that'd be pretty good. I like Mind Control, and sometimes like maybe it'll force a negate. Like some people they'll have to negate this sometimes because of course they don't want their monster to be taken. It's at 1, so you can only run 1. Then we got the 1 Foolish, the zombie deck. Like Foolish is like a staple. And then we got the 1 Monster Reborn, just a good extender card. I recently added this card in. I wasn't sure if it's just like, I'm not sure if Zombies really needs it. I don't think it's very good in your opening hand, but of course mid to later game it is definitely a very good card. So I think, and it's just at 1, so I guess it's fine. Testing it out, like I said. And then for the last 3 cards, the only traps in the deck. Triple Rivalry of Warlords. So honestly, this card, along with Zombie World on the field, is basically almost an insta win. Like, your opponent literally can't do anything. Unless they're playing a zombie deck, right? But your opponent summons a monster. Like, if you have your board set up, and then, of course, the Zombie World, everything's zombie, and then your opponent summons your first monster, you have that card set, you activate it, so their monster becomes a zombie because of Zombie World, and then because Rivalry is on the field, then they can only summon zombies now. And most players that are not playing zombies nowadays, so the cards in their hand and extra deck are not zombies, so they can't be summoned. So I think this card is very good. It creates a very strong lock with Zombie World. And having it at Zombie World searchable, so it's like you're almost guaranteed to have that one on the first turn, the Zombie World, almost. But this card is not searchable, so that's why I run 3 on the deck. So you just want to try and maximize your chance of seeing it in your opening hand. But yeah, that's it for the deck, guys. It's a 40 card deck. And I think the only changes I would probably make to the deck is, if I feel like the Dark Arm's not really working out, or if it's stopping me from doing it, like if I wish it was another card most of the time, then I'll probably take out the Dark Arm, even though I really want to run it. The other card I would maybe cut down Mizuki to 1 or 2 instead of 3 if I feel like it's too cloggy. And I think maybe the Monster Reborn as well, maybe change it for something else. But I think Monster Reborn will be a good card most of the time. Maybe not that one, but so it's mostly just the 1 Mizuki if I need to cut 1 back, the Dark Armed, and then the Dangers. Like, I'm still not sure how I feel about the Dangers. That could change in the future, so we'll see how that goes. Now to getting into the extra deck. For the boss monsters, we have Mech Knight Crusadia Abramax and Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. So this card, when I first came back into the game, when I saw these 2 cards were out, and I was like, these cards are absolutely busted. Like, this card not being able to, you can't target it with card effects. He can't if your opponent wants, if you have more monsters on the field, your opponent has to attack him first. And if he battles a monster, I believe he gains the attack of the monster. So it's like that's broken. And then if he leaves the field, you can send one card from on the field back to the deck, I believe. Yep. Yeah, this card is honestly broken. I have Masquerena, so if you use Masquerena like to summon him, to link summon him, then not only can he not be targeted, he can't be destroyed by card effects either. Like that's ridiculous. So really good card. I'm not saying it's super easy to make, but he's definitely a monster that's not too difficult to make in the deck. Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, again another card that's absolutely broken. Now, the reason I specified before that a lot of the monsters were level 7 or higher, like Ballardrug is level 8, the 2 Jacobolians are level 7, the Darkron is level 7. So you have multiple monsters that are level 7 or higher, because if you use a level 7 or higher monster to link summon him, he can't be destroyed by card effects either. So that's such a really good card, honestly. And then he has like 3 effects. When he destroys a monster by battle, you can activate one of the effects. Either he gains 1500 permanently, you can banish a card, or on the next battle, like next time he battles in the next turn, he can attack a second time. So I don't know how I feel about like that last one is not that good in my opinion. Like the next turn you can attack twice. It feels too slow. But the banishing and the gain 1500 permanently effect, those are really good, honestly. And then, of course, the whole effect of when he uses a level of 7 or higher to not be destroyed by card effects, it's awesome. He's only 3, so honestly, he's even easier to summon than Abramax. But yeah, those are... Oh, no, not there. What am I doing? Yeah, those are the 2 boss monsters of the extra deck. Then we got Crystron Halqifibrax, or Nina Fiber. I mean, this card is he's honestly pretty good in the deck. He's honestly good in almost any deck. Because he can just bring out a tuner. It's just so good. The main target is definitely Glow Bloom. And he just makes it so easy to like make good combos in the deck, honestly. I don't think much needs to be said about this card. It's probably going to get banned. Either next ban list or the one after that. I'm almost 100% sure. If he doesn't get banned, then I'm 100% sure Lane Cross is getting banned. Then we got IP Masquerena. Just solid card, being able to link on your opponent's turn. And then when she's used as link material, the monster that gets link summoned can't be destroyed by card effects. So, pretty good card, honestly, in my opinion. It's a very generic 2, also like Link 2. Now, we're playing zombies, so I'm playing double Vampire Sucker. Honestly, I like her a lot. She's a really good card. She lets you get some draw power, because this deck doesn't have much draw power, which is one of the things I feel is a weakness for this deck. So she lets you have some draw power, and she honestly like has another effect that I didn't notice till more recently. Like, if you have Zombie World, of course, your opponent's monsters are zombies. And if she's on the field, she lets you use your opponent's monsters as tributes for your own monster, like for your own zombie monster. So if you have like Doom King or Jacobolin in your hand, you can just tribute 2 of your opponent's monsters if Zombie World's on the field, and then just summon your own monster. That's pretty nuts. I have 2 because she's pretty weak, or she's mostly used maybe for like more link material for another monster. So I feel like she's either gonna get destroyed pretty easily within one turn, or she's gonna not even last the whole turn because I'm gonna like link climb with her. So I feel like having a second one's just good for the grind game. Then we got Avenged Savior. I really like him because he's basically another Foolish Burial for zombies, and even though he's only 1600, he can become he can make your opponent's monsters a lot weaker because of that. Whenever he enters battle or he battles a monster, you can send one zombie from your deck to the graveyard, and then your opponent's monster loses 200 times the level of the monster you sent. So if you send Doom King, your opponent's monster is going to lose 1600 attack. So honestly, it's a really good card. Then we got the one Link Karibo. You must just use him as like Link Climb material with like Glow Bloom. So not really much to be said about that one. The one XYZ we have, number 60, Dugaris Timeless. This is one of the cards that I'm not sure if I'm going to keep in the extra deck or not. I mean, I can tell by his effects that he's a good card, but I honestly hardly ever see like a good opportunity or a good chance to summon him. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still testing it. Like, his effects are not bad. It's just, it hardly ever happens where I'm like, oh yeah, like, I need to summon number 60. But anyways, getting to the Synchros, we got one Cyframe Lord Omega. Pretty good card. Pretty strong monster. He lets you get some of your banished cards back, like Mizuki. So I think it's a really solid card. Then we got one Red Eye Zombie Necro Dragon, I believe. Something like that. I haven't had the chance to summon him too often, but he's a level 7. He's not that difficult to summon. And whenever he is on the field, he gains 100 attack for every zombie on the field and graveyard. Like both graveyards and both sides of the field. So honestly, that's really, with Zombie World in the field, that's really good. Like, he could become a really strong beat stick. He's 2400 originally, but even with just 10 zombies, like 2 on your side, like 2 on your opponents, and then y'all each have 3 in the graveyard. It's like, he's already 3400. He can be a lot higher than that. So haven't had instances where I summon him yet, but I think he's a good enough card to just have it in there just in case. Then we got Shooting Riser Dragon, the main target for Hockey Fibrex. On your opponent's turn, you just bring him out, and he's also really good because he lets you send one monster from your deck to the graveyard, another kind of Foolish Burial effect. So I think it's definitely a card you need to run. And then we got the Super Poly targets. We got the one Draco Necro Nether Soul Dragon. He's the one that you use with, if you have Zombie World in the field, then you can just Super Poly your opponent's monsters away to summon him. He requires 2 zombies. So, and he's a pretty good card, being able to make your opponent's monsters attack 0 or like summon a token or something like that. It's kind of a strange effect. Yeah. But yeah, solid card honestly. And he's a 3000 attack beat stick monster, so. Then we got the one World Chalice Guard Dragon Armaduke, I believe. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep him in the extra deck. He might just become like a side deck card. Because your opponent needs to have 3 Link monsters to be able to summon him. Or, well, I guess you don't need to. I mean, maybe if you have like 1 Link monster and your opponent has 2, then yeah, you can just use your own and then 2 other ones. So he's definitely, but yeah, he is a bit more conditional in my opinion. And like I said, if your opponent doesn't even link summon that much, he might not be that good, to be honest. Let's see. But I just think it's, maybe for now, I'm testing it out like I said, so. But honestly, almost all decks right now synchro summon, or sorry, link summon, so I think it's good enough right now to keep it. And then the last one, Starving Venom Fusion Dragon for decks that have a lot of dark monsters, or if you, I mean, we have a lot of darks in this deck too, so you could even use your own monsters if you need a big monster. But yeah, so that's it, guys. That's the Zombie World or the Zombie deck. I would say this is more of a control version, not really combo. I feel like the combo one, I mean, if you're able to get your plays through, then the combo one definitely builds a stronger board in my opinion. But the thing is, this deck falls, like, I've played a couple times with friends and all that, and honestly, when people stop Unizombie, like, if he can't use his effect, honestly, the deck slows down a lot. Like, you just can't get your plays through sometimes, so I feel like this control version is a little better just because most people nowadays run hand traps, so they're almost always going to have a way to like negate something. And yeah, so having this like slightly slower control version, I feel like it's better for like the long term. The risk reward is a bit like lower, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm trying to make the deck like as competitive as I can. But maybe it's just not the right time for zombies right now. But it's still a fun deck. Like I think if you're not facing like those top tier meta decks like Adamancipator or Eldritch or stuff like that, then this deck can honestly be okay. There's just, if your plays are able to go through, then if you get Doom King on the field, it's honestly with Zombie World, it's honestly pretty strong. So it's just a little bit slower than some decks. So it's still a fun deck though. I would say it's definitely like a slightly competitive casual deck. Um, but yeah, that's my take on the zombie deck so far, guys. Let me know what y'all think, and if y'all have any suggestions about something I could change, especially the cards that I mentioned to y'all earlier, that I would be willing to change, and let me know in the comments. But anyways, guys, I hope y'all have a good day, and I'll see y'all later. Peace out.